What's up and welcome to the Sixers Breakroom. Today we're going to be taking a look at Game 1, Sixers versus Raptors. Let's break down the film. So last night in Game 1, the Philadelphia 76ers really dominated the game. I mean, everything that could go well went well. I think a lot of things went in their favor. You know, they had the foul advantage, which has been pretty well documented by Raptors fans, both in my comments and on Twitter. We rebounded the ball well. We shot the ball well. We were great in transition. I mean, everything that could go right went right, and that's why I don't expect the rest of the series to look like this game did. But let's break down what happened, why were we so effective, and I want to start with James Harden. James Harden did not shoot the ball well, but man, did James Harden have complete control of the game as far as just distributing the ball, controlling tempo, and drawing so much attention. On this first play here, you get this little isolation with James Harden. Now, I want you guys to just take a look at Pascal Ciaco. I mean, Pascal Ciaco is just staring at James Harden the entire possession here. And James Harden is just going to dribble, lull him to sleep, and then just fire a pass to the corner to Tobias Harris, right? Dribble. And look at Siakam's eyes. He's staring. And then James Harden just whips a pass to the corner, and Tobias Harris knocks it down. Tobias Harris played so well. I'm a big believer that Tobias Harris is our X factor. When he plays well, the Sixers win. But again, it's just the attention James Harden draws from Siakam. Rifles a pass right in the pocket. Bang. Here's another example here. Once again, it's going to be Pascal Ciaco, but you're going to have Joel Embiid kind of come up and set this screen, and then James Harden is going to attack the middle, and he's going to do so with great pace. Like, sometimes it's not about going 100 miles an hour. It's about playing with pace and reading the defense, right? As he gets into the middle here, you're going to see he draws a lot of attention once again from Pascal Siakam. Siakam doesn't have to help as much as he's helping right here, but I think that James Harden just demands that much attention. But Precious is in a really good spot, right? You have the big dropping in here in coverage. Pascal Siakam is also collapsing, and that's exactly what James Harden is reading, right? Like, you can see James Harden is reading Pascal Siakam. He sees that he's in the paint, and he knows I have this wide open shot in the corner here. And James Harden does a great job making the pass on time and on target, right in the hands. Good shot. Here we go again, right? James Harden at the top. And you can see, let me bring it back a little bit. I want you guys to take a look right here. Watch Pascal Siakam once again. You're going to see he even tells this defender to slide up. Like, right now he's supposed to be dropping. He's guarding Niang. But you'll see that Pascal Siakam actually stops him and tells him to hold his spot right here to be able to help on a James Harden drive. And when that happens, right there goes the communication stay, right? And James Harden, he's reading this. Once again, look, he sees how far the help is off of Maxey, and he's just going to rifle that pass over to the wing, and it's an open three. Here, we're going to have a drive and kick. This is a very underrated part of Matisse Thybulle's game and his IQ. I want you guys to take a look at Matisse Thybulle here. He's going to start to walk this in. And what that's going to do is it's naturally going to cause his defender to collapse into the lane as well. So Siakam, and I believe this is Precious, they're already eyeing up James Harden. And you're going to see that they're going to slide over into this paint area right here for help. And you're going to see that Thybulle does a great job of setting himself up to set a screen so that on the kick out to Tobias Harris, who's going to relocate to the corner, he does a great job of relocating to the corner. You're going to have this hammer pass or this hammer screen, and Thybulle does a great job of allowing Harris to be open for this shot. Look, you can see that communication right there, right? If we take it back a little bit, take a look at Tobias Harris. He's waving him through, go. And you'll see right here, Thybulle is already setting up to be able to set this screen on the helper. So you have Siakam, who's going to dive into the middle and help. And then Precious is now having to play two, but he slides over a little too much in help. And you're going to see Thybulle sets this little screen here, allowing Tobias Harris to have a wide open three in the corner because he can't close out. Bang. I mean, this pass right here, this pass was outrageous. It's not really to break down here, but just take a look at this full court pass in transition, right? Ball's going to get knocked around a little bit. Harden gets it. Look where Tyrese Maxey is right now. This is where Maxey is right now. Take a look at this pass. If you guys didn't see it live, oh my goodness. right here. This is the window. James Harden sees this window right here, and he's going to be able to make this pass to a cutting Maxey who doesn't have to break his stride at all. Two-handed bounce pass in stride and the finish. I mean, I don't think people appreciate how difficult of a pass that is to make at full speed to hit a guy that fast on the move. I mean, that's like NFL quarterback stuff. And then this is going to be the last James Harden clip. You're going to see James Harden gets downhill on Trent Jr. He gets that helper to collapse, right? So you get collapse into the middle, and then you're going to have this help defender having to play two guys. So right now, James Harden already sees that he has the big dropping in, and now he's reading this defender here. If you drop down, I throw it to Shake Milton, right? If you stay with Shake, well, then I'm going to throw it to the corner. And James Harden does a great job of being patient and reading this. Hits the guy on the wing, Shake Milton, 3-ball. Like I said, I believe that Tobias Harris is the X factor for the Sixers. I just think anytime he plays well, the Sixers play well and they win. Here, Van Vliet already has 2 early fouls. Van Vliet picked up 2 fouls in the first minute. That was kind of the story of this game. A lot of ticky-tack calls against the Raptors, just being honest. I'm not biased. There were some ticky-tack calls that the Sixers are not going to get moving forward. But Tobias Harris recognizing this, I'm just going to go inside because he can't foul me. Just throw it up. I'm going to get an uncontested layup. When you get Tobias Harris going early, he starts to shoot the ball better as well. Like, I'm a big believer that Tobias Harris has to get going early, right? Like, it's not many times you see Tobias Harris have a slow start and then play well later in the game. But once he sees 1 or 2 go in, right, then he starts being more aggressive. Look at this off-ball cut, right? He throws it to Embiid, and his guy sinks in, and you're going to just see I'm just cutting back door, and Joel Embiid does a great job of just hitting the open man, right? Like, I'm cutting back door. He kind of loses sight of me. He has a step on him. You hit him, and then you get the dunk, right? But it's just that aggression. I don't think he plays that aggressive if he doesn't get going early. Here's another example here, right? We're still early in the game, started the second quarter, and you're going to see one-on-one. He's got Thad Young on him. That's a mismatch. I can get by him, right? Drives it to him, gets the bump. Look at the separation he just created on that bump. Tobias Harris is so good at getting in this area right here, right? He'll initiate some contact, create this kind of space right here between him and his defender, and then he'll just pull up from 8 to 10 feet, and he's automatic from there. But the key is just getting him going early. This is what happens. You get him going early, and then all of a sudden, this is when you know Tobias Harris is rolling, right? I'm not going to settle for that shot. 1, 2 dribbles downhill, contested jump shot from the mid-range area, but I'm feeling good, so I'm going to hit that shot. And all of these clips are in the first half. And those James Harden assists on his threes, all in the first half. When he gets going early, we're just a different team. Before we talk about Tyrese Maxey and how he was just in his bag last night, I do want to take a look at the defense on Pascal Ciaco a little bit because I felt like that was going to be a big deal for us. But you can't really stop a guy like Ciaco. That's not the goal. The goal is to just make it tough for him. Like, here's a clip where they didn't make it tough for him at all. Like, these are the types of ways that you get killed, right? Scotty Barnes, hopefully Scotty feels better, man. Hope his ankle's not too bad. He attacks. Tobias Harris is just staring at the ball right here, right? All he's doing is staring at Scotty Barnes getting downhill. And then Siakam catches the ball almost 2 feet in the paint. No resistance at all. There's barely any even contact there. Like, these are the things you can't have happen when you're playing Siakam. This possession right here, this is a make. This is a make from Siakam. But this is the kind of defense you got to play. This is how you wear a guy down and you make it hard for him. Look how hard Niang is playing. Bump, right? I'm on him, right? Makes him lose the ball. I'm still up. I'm still pressuring you, right? I'm not giving up on the play. So many times, it's at this point right here. So many times at this point right here, you'll see a guy just sink off, especially in the regular season. But this is playoff basketball. Like, nah, Niang is back. I'm up. And then good contest on the jump shot, and he makes it. That's okay. You live with that, right? As a player, as a coach, you live with that. You say, hey, good shot. Do it again now, and do it again. That's how you have to play on him. Here's another example right here, right? Like, this is later in the game. Tobias Harris guarding him, right? I'm up. I'm in a stance, right? Something so little as that, like, we weren't seeing the last time they played. Guys were standing straight up, but I'm in a stance, making contact with him, make him work, right? More contact, make him spin back, and then contest the shot. That's all you can do. That's all you can do against a player that good. Here's another great example. Good defense, Toby. I'm in a stance early. Remember in that last video, I talked about how they were letting him get all the way in the paint before there was any kind of contact, any kind of stance, any kind of resistance at all. I'm in front of him, right? I still would have liked some contact a little bit earlier there, but I beat him to the spot, right? Like, that's the first job. Right now, he's trying to drive. Boom, I beat him to that spot. Make him pull it out. Now there's contact. He tries to drive again. Boom, you beat him to the spot 2 times. Now you've beaten him to his right-hand drive 2 times. And then tough contact, maybe foul, maybe not. But again, no easy baskets. Now where the defense needed to be better was they gave up a lot of wide open threes. And Gary Trent Jr. is not going to miss as many shots as he missed last night. Like in this situation right here, Tobias Harris is playing 2, but you got Ciaco and you got Gary Trent Jr. No disrespect to Ciaco, but I would rather let Ciaco take a 3 than Gary Trent Jr. Tobias Harris should have switched on that or at least closed out here, run him off the 3-point line, and he doesn't, and he misses this shot. But this is a shot where in game 2, I'm expecting him to make that shot, and I think that he probably will make that shot. Now here, on the other hand, you get much better defense. This is actually a really nice set that's run by the Raptors. You're going to get this little flex cut, this little flex screen. I believe this is Ciaco. Scotty Barnes is setting the screen on Tobias Harris. Ciaco is cutting over the top. And then you're going to have Scotty Barnes, and I think this is Birch, set a stagger, a double screen for Gary Trent Jr. to come off of this. Now, we saw in the last time we broke down film when we played in Toronto, they were setting this double screen, this stagger for Gary Trent Jr., and Danny Green was getting caught in the screen, allowing Gary Trent Jr. to just curl it and do whatever he wanted, right? We saw him curl and then kick to Ciaco, and it was just bad defense all around. Take a look now, as we'll see on this double screen. Danny Green does a much better job avoiding the contact, avoiding the screen, and take a look at Embiid, right? The top guy, your job when you're the top helper, so the guy guarding 24, in this case is Embiid, you got to make sure that you hold your ground here and you don't allow Gary Trent Jr. to turn the corner, right? So you are putting yourself in a position where I'm not letting him drive to the corner. I'm going to give Danny Green time to get over the top of the screen and recover. And you'll see they do it expertly here, right? Joel Embiid, boom, right there. He prevents the curl. Now Gary Trent Jr. can't just have a free line drive to the basket. Danny Green does a good job of getting back in front, and then you can test along too. That's great defense all around. Here's another example of much better off-ball defense that the Sixers played that they didn't play in the last matchup, right? You're going to get this pin-down screen. Gary Trent Jr. is coming over the top, and it's the same principles of that stagger screen. Danny Green is going to be trailing it, so he's got to get over the top of this. Tobias Harris is going to step up and make sure that Gary Trent Jr. can't just drive to the basket. So Danny Green does a great job avoiding the contact. You see Tobias Harris steps up, make sure he can't just drive. They communicate a switch. You see Tobias Harris point, so they're actually communicating, and then you get a contested 3. So their off-ball defense was much better, but they did give up a lot of open threes. Like the Raptors did shoot 40% from 3. Gary Trent Jr. is going to be better than 2 for 11 or 2 for 13, whatever he was. So we got to make sure we close out a little bit better. Those 2 examples of the stagger screen and the pin down screen, that's great defense. Giving him the wide open 3 that he had from the wing in that first clip, that's not good defense. And we got to make sure we limit those mishaps. Last but not least, let's just talk about how incredible Maxey was last night, man. So scoring at all 3 levels. In this first clip, this is early in the game, first basket that he hits. You're going to get a high screen from Joel Embiid, and you're going to get Maxey coming off of it and just getting to his spot. Maxey loves this like elbow floater, right? It's like not a jump shot, but it's not as close as you typically see. It's more like a runner. Now here, you got to make sure that you're in help, right? Like, who is that? OG? You got to be over on this side and not allow Maxey to just drive to the basket. Like, I don't know if he was trying to ice the screen in a way. I know in the last game, they were kind of like, you know what? We're more worried about Joel Embiid, so we're not really going to help on this drive. But I think this is the adjustment that Nick Nurse is going to have to make, because if you just let Maxey get straight down line, and now he goes anyway, right? So that's why I don't think it was like, oh, I'm going to play this way because I'm more worried about the Joel Embiid pop or the Joel Embiid roll. I think it was just a miscommunication, because if he was just focused on Joel Embiid, I don't think he would have reacted this way. But he does, and you'll see just that little runner from the elbow. I mean, Maxey loves taking that shot. This video here is nothing to really break down. I just want to highlight the speed of Tyrese Maxey. First of all, this is great defense by Tobias Harris, gets his hand on the ball. And then take a look right here. As we freeze frame this, Tyrese Maxey just got the ball. You got Ciaco, who's a good 4 or 5 feet in front of him. You got Gary Trent Jr., who's a good 5, 6 feet in front of him. And look how he just splits this. I mean, he's like Tyreek Hill on this play. Everybody's been comparing Tyrese Maxey to Tony Parker, and I've heard Allen Iverson. Maybe the comparison is Tyreek Hill. I mean, look at he just explodes by these two guys. Just splits them right down the middle. That boy fast. Here's another great example of Tyrese Maxey getting to the basket. And he's a smaller player, but he actually finishes really well at the rim, both with these high finishes off the glass and even through contact. I mean, here, he's going to catch the ball. First of all, he's about 29, 30 feet from the basket here. 1, 2 dribbles, and I'm getting to the basket. Contact from the big, able to adjust in the air and finish. That's a great acrobatic finish. And he's so explosive. From 30 feet to 2 dribbles and getting to the basket is impressive. I think that the X factor in this game, as far as Maxey's performance, was his ability to knock down shots. He's a tremendously improved three-point shooter, hitting over 40% this year. Let's break down this play right here. First of all, you're going to get this double from across the court, right? Gary Trent Jr. is going to come across and double. And Embiid does a great job. Embiid did not force too much. I think sometimes Embiid forces shots too much, which I can't really be mad at when you're 7'2", 280 and you're as good as he is. Like sometimes a bad Joel Embiid shot is still better than a shot from somebody else. But he does a great job, and he did throughout the night, of just hitting the open guy. And he talked about it before the game in like press conferences. He's like, when I get double teamed and triple teamed, I just got to give it up and let somebody else make a play. And it's true. You draw that second defender right there, right? He sees Gary Trent Jr. drop all the way into the paint, and he just hits the open guy, whips it cross court, and then Tobias Harris does a great job of drawing two, right? So you get Joel Embiid draws two. He really draws three because of Ciaco as well. And then you get this shot fake drive. Now I've drawn two. He kicks it out to Maxey, and Maxey has this wide open three. And when Maxey is hitting threes, I don't really know how you guard him because he's so fast. You got to give him cushion. But if he's hitting shot, then you want to pressure him. I mean, it puts you in a pickle. And here's a perfect example, right? Like, take a look at this here. Van Vliet is trying to stop the ball early. Like, Van Vliet steps up. I'm not going to let him just keep taking this open three. I'm not letting him walk into any shot. So he's going to do a good job of stepping up and stopping the ball. But his stop and go, like Maxey's stop and go is so quick. Like, boom, little hesitation, 2 dribbles, and I'm in the paint again. And there's no help because you got Embiid, who's doing a great job of kind of setting this kind of illegal screen. But, you know, bigs do this all the time. It's nothing unusual. But he's kind of setting a screen on the help instead of on the on-ball defender. And now you get a wide open layup. This is one of those shots. No one on the Raptors, you can't be mad. You're just like, you know what? It's his night. He got it. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do because, again, what are you going to pressure him? Are you going to really pressure him 40 feet from the basket? Especially when you have a mismatch here. Maxey's significantly quicker than Precious. Like, you can't really do anything there. It's not a bad contest either. It's just sometimes guys are just feeling it. So yeah, man. I mean, that's the breakdown. Those are the things that jumped out the most to me. James Harden getting guys involved, especially early in the game. James Harden didn't finish the ball great at the rim, but his distribution and getting guys open shots, getting Tobias Harris open shots early in the game was big. Tobias Harris, I think, continues to be our X factor. Whenever he plays well, we play well. And getting him involved early and often, I think, is going to be critical for the Sixers moving forward in this postseason. And then Tyrese Maxey just playing out of his mind. I mean, we just did a whole breakdown of this game, and we didn't even really talk about Joel Embiid outside of that one pass out of the double to the corner to Tobias Harris. He passed out of the double great last night. But I think this was one of those rare instances where it's like Joel Embiid wasn't the reason why we won. And that's why if I'm the Raptors, this is one of them games, you'll throw out the tape. It is what it is. It was their night. We go on to the next one. I do not expect the Sixers to play this well in game 2. I don't know if I expect them to play this well very often throughout the postseason because they just played so well last night. They hit 50% of their threes. They got to the free throw line over 30 times. They got 29. They outscored them 29-10 in transition. Like, so much went well for the Sixers. I think this game is more of an outlier than it is, the norm. But I am curious to see what happens in game 2. I think game 2 is very, very big for both teams, and I'm curious to see how it plays out. If you like the video, do not forget to like the video. Of course, subscribe to the channel and turn on that bell so you know when I'm going live, when I'm dropping videos, all that kind of stuff. I did go live a couple times this week, which was a lot of fun, man, hearing from you guys and being able to react and answer questions in real time. It's something I enjoy doing. So, again, be sure to like the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. And follow me on my socials. I'll put those links in the description below. I'll see you on the next one. This is the Sixers Break Room. Peace.